Welcome to My Hometown, the program that explores clubs, organizations, businesses, and issues across Nassau and Suffolk counties and sheds light on the different towns that are making a difference.
Hello and welcome to My Hometown. I'm Bill Horan, along with my co-host, Nassau Community College student, Mike DeMarco.
Today, you are about to learn about an unbelievable nonprofit organization that is based right here on Long Island, with the mission to help maintain dignity, confidence, and self-esteem to those affected by medical hair loss.
The organization is called Hair We Share, and I'd like to introduce to you our guest, Dean Riskin, their co-founder and CEO. Dean, welcome to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Dean, how did the concept of Hair We Share come about?
I personally am a second generation here on Long Island in the hair replacement industry. I took over this business in 1993 from my dad, who then had over 40 years in the industry. The name of that company is Manny Roberts Hair Replacement.
I know that name.
Okay. We've been servicing children and adults with medical hair loss, but on a different level. It was a for-profit organization, regular company. It provided my life and everything else. In 2013, a young woman who's been working with me for 30 years, I went on vacation, and when I came back from vacation, she shook my hand and said, "Congratulations, you're now the co-founder of a not-for-profit organization." What had happened was she got a phone call from a young girl and her mother who was struggling with alopecia, located in West Virginia. They come from a coal miner's town, and they really can't afford life there. It's very, very difficult. They had dental bills, medical bills, and the young girl was at the time 12 years old, and she begged her mother for this wig that she saw on 2020. We had made a wig for a person experiencing alopecia, and she saw that wig on the 2020 episode, and she begged her mother for that wig. Her mother called us up, asked for that wig. While I was away on vacation, Suzanne said, "Can you call me back to the woman?" The woman called her back, and Suzanne, through social media, raised the money to pay for the wig and collected the hair to make the wig. Wow. Thus, Hair We Share was born.
Now, you used the term alopecia. Can you define that for our audience?
Well, alopecia is would
you call it a disease or
Well, it is an autoimmune disease that can affect a person at the blink of an eye. Somebody literally can have a full head of hair in December and have zero hair in March.
And I guess from what you said, this was a child, so this could be, I'm going to say 6, 8 years old, 14, not from age.
No, age has nothing to do with it. We service children who are 4 years old, 2 years old. We service adults. The difference between us and everyone else in this industry, as far as hair loss goes, is we provide wigs free of charge for children and adults who struggle with any form of medical hair loss.
So the Hair We Share name actually was fairly recent then. So before then, it was still Manny Roberts Hair Replacement until then?
Manny Roberts is now it's still our retail business, but that's local.
I see.
That's the tri-state area. Through Hair We Share and the marketing of social media, I've basically, between Suzanne and myself, we've created a global enterprise.
I see. So it's more of a wide scope of things.
Amazing. We have an English-speaking school in Dubai that did a ponytail cutting thing for us, and they sent us all the students' ponytails in Dubai, Singapore, Germany, Hungary, Paris, France. I mean, you name it. We have ponytails come in from all over the world.
Now, who do you actually reach out to help? And I'm thinking, just as a consumer, you might say, the people I think of medically losing hair are people who might have cancer treatments. What is that called?
Chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy, yes.
Yes. So what happens is we get phone calls now from cancer centers, alopecia resource centers. We get phone calls from what we used to call social workers. They now call them life coaches. They're the people in the hospital who, if somebody is experiencing hair loss, they contact us and say, "I have a patient who needs your assistance." Recently, we've been getting phone calls from major insurance carriers. A patient calls up the carrier, says, I'm experiencing hair loss due to chemotherapy. I'm experiencing hair loss due to alopecia. Do you provide me with a wig? Insurance companies, some will provide a wig once a lifetime, and they will do it with a cap of, let's say, $500. The wig that we create for Hair We Share through donated ponytails would retail for upwards of $3,600, and we give it away for free. So somebody will call me and say to me, I was recommended to come to you for a wig. Who recommended you? Well, I got recommended by the XYZ insurance company. And I'd be like, oh, that's great. Okay, thank you. Please go on our website, fill out the wig application, provide the necessary documents, and we will present it to our board of directors. 90% get approved.
Well, and now, where are you based?
We are based out of Roslyn Heights, New York, right here off the Long Island Expressway.
And you get people from literally, I guess, what you're saying, all over the world.
What we have created in the United States, okay, because we can't accept money from globally. We can only accept money from the United States. The
currency,
basically, U.S. currency. Okay, so what happens is we've created partner salons all over the country. People can go there. They can have their hair cut. They will turn around and send us the ponytail. We prefer the customer to send us the ponytail so they understand the value of the money involved. Okay, they fill out a ponytail donation form. I then recontact them once I receive their ponytail. That's my job. My job is the ponytails. I handle anywhere from 75 to 100 ponytails daily.
I can imagine the positive effect, it must have on people who actually are the recipients of these wigs from Hair We Share. Do you have any stories or any recollections of people giving such feedback from either the person or the family of those involved?
On our website are videos of parents, the children, adults. It's very difficult because it's a privacy issue. Okay, these people, they don't really want to be seen, but the person that actually started Hair We Share for us, that young girl that I had told you about at the time, 12 years old, good student, but unfortunately being bullied in school for losing her hair. She tried to play basketball. People were making fun of her. Where's your hair? Are you sick? No, she has alopecia. She's not sick. She has an autoimmune disease that's not going to hurt her. It's going to physically affect her. Okay. And it's going to affect her mentally. So here she was being homeschooled in West Virginia, and then all of a sudden becomes a part of the Hair We Share family, gets a wig. Now she's 19 years old, I believe, right? 19 years old. She goes to beauty school. She's learning how to cut hair because of us. Okay. She does some highlighting for us when we send her a wig to help us out. We still to this day provide her with her wigs.
This is more and more fantastic because this is such a world that I'm sure if even 1% of our listeners know about this, I certainly didn't. And here you are literally right down the road from us off the expressway. What makes your wigs so different?
Being in this industry for over 40 years, I have touched base with all forms of medical wigs. The key here is the lightness. The human hair that is donated to us is not touched. So we do accept color-treated hair. We don't accept bleach hair because it's weak. But we use that hair to create those wigs. The front hairline is undetectable. The hair flows freely. It shines in the light. You can do whatever you want with it. It's just amazing. It's very different. It's more theatrical than medical. Medical was always a very heavy, clunky wig, store-bought off a shelf. And in this case, we provide these people, listen, I've done it my whole life in my retail business. Now it's time to give back.
And you mentioned, and something surprised me, the young lady you talked about a few seconds ago was a high school basketball player or somewhere along there. I guess since you said that, can she play with the wig on?
100%.
Is that like I would be wearing a hat or you would be wearing a hat to play the game? Or
you get up in the morning and you put on a T-shirt. You put your sweater over the T-shirt. You put a shirt over the T-shirt. Do you know you're wearing that T-shirt?
No.
it becomes a part of you.
And it stays, I mean, because
It's on.
basketball is
It's on.
contact,
It's
even
contact
with
sports.
the,
It's
on. Young ladies. So
There were many major sports figures who had hair loss that you don't know about, that wear hair now. There are many actors out there, tons of them, that are in major action photos, major action movies that wear hair that you don't know about.
we got to find out more after the show, Mike.
Well, you are listening to My Hometown on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Mike DeMarco, along with Bill Horan, and today you are being introduced to a Long Island organization called Hair We Share, a nonprofit organization that is based right here on Long Island with the mission to help maintain dignity, confidence, and self-esteem to those affected by medical hair loss. Our guest is Dean Riskin, their co-founder and CEO. Now, in terms of the donations that you receive, how important are monetary donations in conjunction with the hair donations?
Ponytail donation is only a small portion of the solution. If I'm receiving 50 to 75 ponytails daily, only 1/3 of those come with any form of money. We've actually broken it down because of our relationship to the industry. We're able to make that $3,600 wig at wholesale cost. So currently it takes 6 to 9 ponytails donations to create one wig. With that, we've broken it down that every ponytail donation costs us $145. If somebody sends us $25, we have to raise the balance of the money somewhere. Some people start Facebook fundraisers. Some people go on to crowdfunding. Some people send us large checks. This is all individual donor base. Our individual donor base has been carrying us for the last 6 years, but we're sitting on right now close to 70,000 unsponsored ponytails that need money. That 70,000 ponytails basically would make about 7,000 wigs.
I'm just thinking, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mike, but do the insurance companies get involved? Because I would think between self-esteem, even a small donation from a major company, an individual can give $25, an insurance company can give $25,000, and it's a drop in the bucket.
The key here is it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yep.
Getting past that gatekeeper at the insurance company, getting past the gatekeeper at the pharmaceutical company. I've had a concept for the last 5 years, okay? I don't disagree with the fact that the pharmaceutical companies are creating or giving longevity to the individual who's getting chemotherapy, but during that time, that person is losing their hair. All the pharmaceutical company has to do is go on to create a television commercial, a PSA, public service announcement. If you are experiencing hair loss due to our chemotherapy drug, please contact Hair We Share and they will provide a free wig for you on our behalf. Now, technically speaking, okay, I've done the numbers, I've ran the numbers over and over again, and pharmaceutical companies, they basically make billions of dollars. So if they joined our program and made an annual donation of $4 million, we would be able to cover all the unsponsored ponytails, create a wig and distribute a wig for every one of their patients. And they look like a hero. We're distributing wigs. People are sending us things, and that covers the flow of the cash flow.
And the self-esteem issues and what it does for recovery would probably save them money when someone projects it, the math people in the end.
The most important thing in a cancer survivor's recovery is positive mental attitude. And for them to look in the mirror and see themselves prior to what they look like during chemotherapy, being able to go to dinner socially, being able to go out in public, being able to have your friends and family look at you without any pity. Because we all see this. We all see people who have cancer. And you look at them and they're like, it's such a shame. You don't want that. So moving forward, we would love corporate sponsorship is the key. Our individual donors, they cover what we have there. We still have all of these ponytails coming in. Right now, we're about 35%.
It's amazing. And what I'm going to do for a second, Dean, is ask you just to tell our listeners, that someone might only hear a portion of the show, if they say, oh my gosh, this is just what so-and-so needs, or I'd like to learn more, or I'd like to donate, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to our website at www.hairweshare.org. They can call us locally. They can email us at hairweshare.org. Our phone number is 516-484-8483. That's 516-484-8483.
And I will ask you that same question again in about 10 minutes. So if some of our listeners didn't get it down, or said, I wish I knew that was coming, or I don't have a pencil, now I'm telling you, you have time to get the pad, the pencil, and you can get all the information. Dean will give it again in about 10 minutes. Mike?
Well, I really hope one of those insurance companies were listening, because that was quite a pitch. And I tell you, it really sounds like a no-brainer. There's no reason not to hop on board. I think it's a fantastic concept. Just all I need is a bite. All I need is someone to take a bite. Now, so you have a ponytail tracking program. Now, how does that work?
Anyone in this world that makes a donation to a charity, you make your donation based on an emotion, what you feel your passion is for that charity. So you can donate to anyone, but do you know where your donation dollars go? What we've done is we've created a Track Your Ponytail program that if they donate the minimum of $145, we will send them a certificate. We will send them a t-shirt for advertising purposes and marketing purposes. But in the end, when that wig is complete, they will get an email from me with a viewing link showing them the actual wig that their hair was placed into. We hope to get as many people into that wig, and it usually takes 6 to 9, but it's usually 2 or 3 people in the tracking program of that particular wig. Now, there's a bonus to it. If the recipient that gets that wig agrees to allow us to use their photo, then we show them the actual person wearing that wig.
I think that's great. You know, there's something about that one-on-one that you've helped someone. You can give cans of soup or clothing, etc., and it's nice and you feel good. But if you really know that there's a child out there, like I think we've all seen those commercials for the Shriners Hospital, or I think it's St. Jude's Hospital and others, where you feel a connection to the children and to the people that you're sending a donation to. There's more of a pulling right there and really get something in.
And there's just so much mutual positivity, because you get to see where it goes.
It becomes personal.
Yes.
Is there a type of hair that you need? I mean, as you can see, I don't have too much hair to talk about this, so I'm certainly not an expert. But is it men's hair, women's hair, strong, thick? Is there different types?
There's many different types of hair as far as texture, density, color, curl. But we accept hair, and then we run a program now where we have volunteers come in. They're mentally challenged adults, so we're teaching them life skills. They actually take that hair and they sort it by color, by length, by texture. Our minimum length is 8 inches if you join the Track Your Ponytail program. The longer the hair, the better. Everybody that needs a wig or wants a wig asks for the longest hair possible, and it's not always good because we can't provide it. But yes, there are many different hair. We get hair from women, children, men. There are videos out there on YouTube. Just type in Hair We Share. You'll see men who actually go to the salon and cut their hair.
This may be a stupid question, but does hair have a hair life, so to speak?
I received a ponytail from a granddaughter's husband. The granddaughter had passed away. For 30 years, she had been every couple of years cutting her hair and saving it. He sent me all of that hair, and then he sent me a ponytail that was 110 years old from her grandmother.
Oh my gosh. This is like knowing you gave someone a heart. I mean, it's self-esteem, but it really is important. A lot of us are very shy about this. And I think women especially, maybe that's the ones I've talked to. But it's like giving a body part that can really help them get through difficult social situations, probably work situations.
It's amazing. It really is. It's heartwarming. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah. No, you're doing a great job.
Well, before we continue, I just want to add once again that you are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Mike DeMarco along with Bill Horan, and today you are being introduced to a Long Island organization called Hair We Share, a nonprofit organization that is based right here on Long Island with the mission to help maintain dignity, confidence, and self-esteem to those affected by medical hair loss. Our guest is Dean Riskin, their co-founder and CEO. Now, when people actually get their hair cut to donate their hair, do you recommend people get professional haircuts, or can they do this at home with just a pair of scissors?
We prefer that they get professionally done because there is a system to do it that would allow us the most amount of hair. If you take your hair and drag it all the way back to the back of your head and cut one large ponytail, you can literally be losing 4 inches on each side. If you take small sections from the side around the perimeter, you actually can get the most amount of hair.
Wow, this is a direct science to it, I guess.
Now, when you're working with these wigs, how long does it take to actually make a wig? You get the hair, you've sorted it, you have the right length, you kind of have a picture, I guess, of what you want.
Okay, sadly enough, prior to COVID, it would take 6 to 9 months to complete the whole process, because the process is not just about making the wig. Then the hair, we actually have the volunteers at the cosmetology schools. So the wig, when it's completed, goes to the cosmetology school. They then style it, photograph it, and then bring it back to us. With COVID-19, we've been basically side-railed. Why? Because we continue to collect ponytails. The factory's closed for 14 months. And currently right now, we're about 18 months behind. So in total, we're about 24 months out. But right now, we are producing approximately 90 plus wigs every month.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And are they always made by volunteers, or is there a staff that's involved as well?
No, the wig itself is not made by a volunteer. We pay factories to make the wigs.
I see.
The volunteers are the people who actually sort the ponytails into packages to make them into wigs. They then add the corresponding tracking ponytails into that wig to actually put the whole thing together. So every wig is numbered. Every wig has got a docket. It goes into the computer. We know when it was shipped to the factory. When it's received, it's logged in, and then it's boxed and housed.
Now, Dean, let's say someone, and I'm just going to go arbitrarily, Mary Jones in Wyoming. Does she contact you and say, I would like a wig? Does she have to measure her head? I mean, I hope these aren't stupid questions, but I honestly don't know.
No question is stupid.
Does she say, I always want to be a blonde, or I like red hair, or things like that? Is it direct one-on-one, or is it her doctor or pharmacist or hairstylist who contacts you?
It's all of the above.
Okay.
Because she can contact us. She fills out the wig application. She provides the necessary documentation, and she puts her notes in the wig application as to what she's looking for. Then we try our best to provide that for her. Once she's approved, she's contacted by Suzanne Camara, who is my co-founder, who then tells her and sends her an email on how to measure her head and what to do moving forward.
Do you ever get to see these people afterward, or do they write back to you, or do you hear from them with pictures?
The majority of the time, no. But sometimes you get someone who says in an email or a phone call, you've changed my life. You've created, I never thought I could look this good again.
Isn't that great that you have that skill to do it, that you're reaching out to people and knowing probably, I'm going to guess, at least once a day, or probably more, you know the numbers, that you can do this for people and, really help them out. Before we get too close to the end of the show, and Mike, I'm sorry, I know you have a question.
Hey, no, it's okay.
I'm just going to ask Dean again, would you slowly give people the information and maybe how they can take part in this or do something to help you?
What we're looking for is in your community right now is we're looking for fundraisers. We're looking for people who want to create a fundraiser. Your sororities, your fraternities, give back. Create a cut-a-thon. It's coming up right now. This is March. You guys are all graduating or moving on. Go to your companies that you work for. Go to the companies you're moving to. Ask them if you can create a fundraiser. Do a major cut-a-thon and raise money. Listen, there are tons of walk-a-thons for cancer. There are tons of other things for diabetes. What people don't understand is these people still need wigs. And in order to do it, we need fundraising. Those fundraisers that you create, for every fundraiser that you create and for every $145 donation you get, we will apply it to one of those 70,000 ponytails that we have, and it now becomes a Track Your Ponytail.
And I'm going to ask you, too, before I make a comment, phone number and website.
www.hairweshare.org. Our phone number is 516-484-8483. That's 516-484-8483.
And I just want to point out, you mentioned it's roughly $145, $150 per wig. I know golf outings that literally make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it might be a fun day at work, something everybody could get behind. Maybe they'll do you this year and another charity next year, which probably would be fine, or alternate them back year in and year out. But what a great way to get people back into things, have fun together, and get some teamwork going.
Create a sorority challenge.
There you go.
Who can raise the most money for Hair We Share?
I like that.
Now, before we go, what's the one thing you want to leave our audience with when it comes to Hair We Share?
It feels good to do good.
There we go.
It sums it up. It feels good to do good. I love it. I love talking to the people. They call me up. They ask me how they can donate their ponytail. How can we help? It's just, it's amazing.
And anybody out there listening, I'm sure if you have an idea about volunteering, I'm sure Dean would listen to you. If there's a way you can think of to raise some money, or if you just want to write a check or do something maybe on your block or in your church or civic organization, I'm sure he'd be willing to talk to you. And then you can know that every day you feel good and you're doing something to help people. We'd like to thank our guest today, Dean Riskin. He is the co-founder and CEO of Hair We Share. Dean, thanks for being with us today.
No, thank you guys for allowing me to tell my story.
I'm Bill Horan. I'm here with Mike DeMarco. We thank you for listening to this week's special edition of My Hometown.
We'd like to get your feedback on My Hometown. Send your comments to WHPC@ncc.edu. Nassau Community College, where success starts and continues. Till next time, this is Bill St. James. And remember, there's no town like your hometown.